We are the principal astute life in the known universe. Imagine that we're the fundamental place where there is information in this inestimable framework. Cosmologists all through the world are in awe of this ever-evolving disclosure. The James Webb Space Telescope has gotten the subtle shimmer of city lights an unfathomable 7 trillion miles away from Earth, outperforming all suspicions. This amazing achievement achieves more than simply develop our perspectives as far as what we know about the universe. Speculation goes wild as scientists pore over the data, searching for signs that could open the secrets of these puzzling, glorious guides. The ideas are astounding. Check that we are in good company in the universe, that the universe is gathering with life and activity quite far outside our capacity to comprehend. Is it possible that these far-off lights show the presence of extraterrestrial societies? What's the significance here for our knowledge into the likelihood of life in the universe beyond Earth? Oblige us as we examine how the James Webb Telescope just saw city lights 7 trillion miles away. Shipped off into space on Christmas Day 2021, the James Webb Space Telescope was intended to beat the deeply grounded Hubble telescope in getting remarkably sharp photos of newly discovered brilliant particles, planetary systems, and more. A sensible goal of the JWST is to concentrate on the advancement of the primary universes by investigating the distant local people of the universe. This is pragmatic due to the truth that the journey time of light throughout our universe is billions of years. When the JWST collects light, it sees these objects definitively as they were billions of years earlier. Space specialists measure distances in light years, which is the best distance light can travel in a year. To address this reality, the gathering's fundamental practical took a stab at focusing. This was a significant field picture that was presented on July 11, 2022, by U.S. President Joseph Biden while he was talking from the White House. As the Hubble Space Telescope focused in on a single area of the sky for 10 straight days, beginning on December 18, 1995, significant fields acquired standing. The picked district was only a little spot, making up around 1/1,000,000th of the entire sky. The majority of the 3,000 currently inconspicuous things found by Hubble were enormous frameworks tracked down billions of light-years away, with its place of intermingling on the SMX 0723 World Gathering. The JWST significant field covers an similarly small sky region. The genuine framework SMX 0723 is 4.6 billion light-years away, and the more distant inestimable frameworks behind it are intensified by serious areas of strength for its gravitational field. The establishment inestimable frameworks are disfigured into enormous twists where the gravitational field is most grounded. In one case, it was checked that it took a distant world's light 13.1 billion years to show up at the telescope, resulting from journeying through space. The light that is being conveyed reaches out as the universe creates, as they are still away. The chief objective of the JWST has broadened evident light from their stars into the infrared. Stargazers can clearly contrast JWST's and observable light photos of nearby universes taken by Hubble and various telescopes by gathering data at those frequencies. This will show how universes make throughout tremendous time, enhancing and joining into the plans we notice today. Impressively more astonishing than the sheer number of frameworks in the JWST first significant field picture is how quickly it was trapped in only hours, as conflicted with days for all plans and purposes. Anywhere it looks, it can't fight the temptation to follow down frameworks. Universe packs aren't the principal objects going about as enhancing central focuses. Analysts use the JWST to get an image of several frameworks designated VV1191, so they could focus on how the light from one of the matches changed as it went through the other. The delayed consequences of the assessment will reveal the properties of the interceding astronomical framework buildup. Furthermore, it looks like the JWST may have as of late made an outstanding divulgence. Light-years outside our close-by-planet bunch. The announcement of the possible exposure of auroras on an indicated earthy brown predominate came from the official JWST site. The shortage of a host star and the frigid temperature make it irksome to pinpoint where the energy in the upper environment is coming from. However, the fact that the article conveying auroras is really hurling methane is critical. Similarly, as an aurora on Earth is made when vivacious particles that develop into space from the Sun are gotten by our planet's appealing field. The charged particles then make their strategy for Earth's air through lines of appealing fields close to the posts, where they will ram into gas particles to make a brilliant exhibit of light known as the aurora borealis. Jupiter and Saturn have similar auroral eccentricities on account of the sun-powered breeze. However, the hardy shaded Bantam W 1935 has no star to circle, so its auroras are a colossal mystery. Everyone's assumption continues to lay on Proxima Centauri and TRAPPIST-1, simply 4.4 light-years from Earth and inside the Milky Way system, with analysts distinguishing the presence of water on the exoplanet. The chance of life in the world can't be blocked. Are we finally going to see evidence of life beyond Earth? Just last month, the JWST saw another extremely enormous dark opening. This huge dark opening was red in variety and ate up everything around it. This revelation is 40 million times as extensive as the Sun. Anyway, what does it mean for us? The JWST has found that this exceptionally enormous dark opening has been there since the beginning of the universe. It most likely will not be inspiring news. This monster is rapidly eating up everything in its nearby region. Driving the disclosure are Dr. Lucas Fu and Professor Alistair Zitron of the Ben Gurion University of the Negev in Israel. According to their revelations, the super-enormous dark opening is for all aims and purposes multiple times heavier than the Sun, making it a monstrous monster and stand out from the world it abides in. Fortunately, it isn't there of mind to Earth or the nearby planet bunch. We're talking a wonderful distance at 129 billion light-years from our planet. Anyway, it is moving closer, with the dark opening eating up everything around it at a quick rate, where the ruddy assortment comes from, showing that it sits in a thick front of buildup that is blurred, keeping light from going through. When the JWST began sending its hidden data, scientists were thrilled while going through the information that came in for the Uncover program. 3 little things with a dull red glimmer pulled in our thought. We rapidly believed that it was a quasar-like thing. Truly, gigantic dark openings at the core interests of universes are constantly gathering material because of their red speck look. The entire world's brilliance proved unable reasonably be held inside a spot no greater than a current-day star bundle. We had the choice to greatly obtain definite size impediments due to the source's gravitational lensing. In any occasion, when all of the potential stars are compacted into that little district, the dark opening still addresses something like 1% of the structure's complete mass. The divulgence of similar approaches to acting in various extra-early universe extremely enormous dark openings has revealed knowledge into the advancement of both the dark opening and the host framework, also as the association between the two, which is still commonly dark. If very immense dark opening structure, for instance, from star additional items or maybe from ahead of schedule stage cosmic material that collapsed into dark openings, space specialists can't actually see also in the photographs it imparts back to Earth. The James Webb Space Telescope is finding some other rather strange things reliably. We have the pleasure of investigating space and being enraptured by the astounding lights of planets and stars that float across the universe, unending light years away. Notwithstanding this, the James Webb Space Telescope licenses us to see much past what our eyes can perceive. For example, a question mark in space. For the past 20 or more months, Webb has been drifting through space, imparting back pictures of what it has viewed as insignificant space, utilizing its bleeding edge close to infrared camera. What's more, at this point, answers have been given to the disclosure of a genuinely unusual-looking finding in one Webb picture, zeroing in on something completely different. The picture was conveyed by the European Space Agency, seeing at 2 young stars as they form some 1.47 light-years from Earth. At any rate, there is a minimal orange mark at the image's base that seems to be a flipped question mark. Obviously, the little picture isn't nearly nothing in actuality. It's very colossal. The question mark was gotten while seeing the arrangements of young stars named Herbig-Haro 4647's immense enjoyments. They are encompassed by colossal circles of buildup and gas, with several thousand years of age itself. Concerning the question mark shape itself, it might well appear to be that, because of the two-dimensional picture that has been presented by Webb from its specific viewpoint, right now we try not to have even the remotest clue what it is. Also, without additional examination, we may, taking all things into account, never know. However, the disclosures have been minded by experts in the field. Thusly, it is no doubt a distant framework or possibly universes that are associated with one another. The ruined inquiry mark design could be a result of their coordinated efforts. Perhaps we have never seen this thing prior to, making it challenging to choose its character with any degree of certainty. Further assessment is indispensable. With the flood of faraway grandiose frameworks uncovered by Webb, there is a flood of new consistent solicitation. By and by, everybody's eyes are focusing in on a specific course of action of Earth-sized planets that could hold the way to tracking down untouchable life. Precious, the immovably Catch-22, which includes the non-appearance of evidence for bleeding-edge outcast life in the universe, despite the truly high probability that such animals exist, could finally be settled. Where are these planets sitting? Precisely 40 light-years from Earth, and the nearby planet bunch is a star known as TRAPPIST-1, which has 7 planets orbiting it. In their excursion to track down bearable planets, NASA considers a wide extent of limits. Past a planet's size and distance from its star, a more suitable procedure is to recognize the general centralizations of these escalates in a planet's current circumstance. This would allow experts to choose whether the planet is bearable. The Infrared Spitzer Space Telescope, which is fundamental for NASA's space examination mission, helped in the disclosure of the 7 harsh exoplanets orbiting a similar star known as TRAPPIST. Quite a while back, the James Webb Space Telescope has as of now assessed the temperature of TRAPPIST-1b, one of those universes. The JWST has been dependably conveying significant disclosures since its presentation, and this discovery is essentially the latest in a line of record-breaking firsts. This is the first revelation of light created by an exoplanet as little and as cool as the harsh planets in our own close-by-planet bunch. No telescopes have had the ability to measure such weak mid-infrared light. Space specialists were pleased when they initially found out about the 7 TRAPPIST-1 exoplanets, since these faraway universes are all around Earth measured and are in the habitable zone, the region where planets can have liquid water on their surfaces at the best partition from their star. They call the system an uncommon exploration focus and say it's maybe one of the best spots to focus on rough planet conditions. Don't turn out to be unreasonably amped up for a different universe for people, however. Anyway, the TRAPPIST-1 planets are out of our current reach at an amazing 235 trillion miles away. They're in like manner surrounding a star significantly more unobtrusive and redder than our Sun, known as an M-dwarf star. These stars are on different occasions more ordinary in the Milky Way than Sun-like stars, and they have duplicated the likelihood of having rough planets compared to Sun-like stars. These colossal M-dwarfs are ideal targets for habitable planet trackers, and rough planets revolving around these little stars can be all the more easily seen. There is a stunt. M-dwarfs are through and through more powerful than our Sun, and they routinely flare and transmit high-energy radiates, which could be frightful to a rising extraterrestrial life or a planet's climate. Already view of TRAPPIST-1b were not adequately fragile to block the credibility of an environment or the planet's propensity as a ruined stone. Since the planet is flawlessly locked to its star, one side is consistently defying the star, and the other is trapped in never-ending obscurity. As expected by reenactment, in the event that TRAPPIST-1b had a climate, the temperature of the planet would be lower, since the air would modify the force around the two sides. At any rate, the JWST assessed a lot higher temperature, likewise blocking the believability of a climate and killing one more planet from the summary of conceivably viable universes. What could life on these planets appear to be? The James Webb Space Telescope has decided to step into the shoes of an extraterrestrial meteorologist, taking part in some space examination. Eventually, the super-exorbitant piece of room has been used by a gathering of overall space specialists, expecting to bridle its powers across the universe. It's the latest in a short yet rich history of pompous examination, which integrates taking snaps of a nearby moon that looks incredibly like Earth. This is only the beginning of its astronomical endeavor. When it comes to atmospheric conditions, Webb has been arranging definitively what's been going on an enormous planet, precisely 280 light-years away, or generally 1,644 trillion miles from Earth. The planet, called WASP-43b, is for the most part the same size as Jupiter, named a hot Jupiter by NASA, directly following being found by the Hubble Space Telescope in 2011. The weather patterns guesses have uncovered 1,250 degrees Fahrenheit and tropical breezes speedier than 5,000 miles per hour. It had all been concealed under enormous thick high fogs covering the night side of the planet. The explanation for this is that WASP-43b is impeccably locked, aiming that though one side is consistently introduced to the light from the nearest star, the contrary side, which has a perfect sky, never experiences any light whatsoever. By joining precise splendor assessments over a broad assortment of mid-infrared light with 3D climate models and prior insights from different telescopes, Webb had the choice to attest that water seethe is accessible on the day side, while Spitzer and Hubble both insinuated the chance of fogs on the night side. Extra exact readings from Webb were major before we could begin to plan the planet's current circumstance. Cloudy cover, wind, and air association by area. WASP-43b requires 19.5 hours to circumvent its star, with JWST assessing microscopic changes in splendor of the planet and its neighbors. Webb utilized splendor data acquired by its state-of-the-art close-to-infrared camera to choose the planet's temperature. The measure of mid-infrared light created by a thing is unequivocally associated with its temperature, which was critical to the results for which assessments were required every 10 seconds for more than 24 hours. We had the choice to decide a cruel aid of the planet's temperature from our insights during a whole circ, which allowed us to choose the temperature of the various sides of the planet as they materialized. The side of the planet that is reliably thriving in sunlight has a normal temperature of close to 2,200 degrees Fahrenheit, which is satisfactorily hot to melt iron and most various metals. The obfuscated side is by and large cooler, yet still rising at around 1,125 degrees Fahrenheit. The speedy scattering of warmed air due to supersonic breezes prevents the formation of methane, a consistent and unmistakable gas on the blurred side of the planet. The truth that this procedure for temperature arranging is possible is an undeniable indication of how sensitive and stable Webb is. Analysts can glean from the shortfall of methane that WASP-43b experiences winds of sizes more noticeable than 5,000 miles per hour.